Hello, and welcome to the continuing adventures of an old noob. Last episode, we got this fancy ensemble, convincing the villagers to give me those cheap deals. Karen, give me my stuff back, Karen. All for 1 emerald. Now, talking of fancy dress, we are getting close to Halloween. And for Halloween, you need pumpkins. So this episode, I want to make a pumpkin farm. And the great thing about pumpkins is you can trade them for lots and lots of emeralds. But for a pumpkin farm to be super efficient, we also need to grow them with their brethren, the melon. However, I don't have any melons. I have been travelling around, and believe it or not, I found a diamond, 15 emerald, some TNT, some iron, some gold, even these pumpkins, and a heart of the sea. But no melons. I have found, though, you can find melons in savannah villages. These could come in handy. Where are you going? I've just taken a few. Hey, there's no need to run away from me. Oh, sun's going down. Time to sleep. Oh, it's a nice orange bed. Bread. Okay. That's a deep, scary hole. Timmy? You down there, Timmy? Ooh. What's that? Nothing. It looks like it should be a melon seed, but if you break them, they don't always drop the melon seed. Maybe we've got to stick around for a bit. Wait for them to grow. It's a bit weird, though. They've normally got some grown ones knocking around. Hello, sir. You seem to be stuck. Let me help. Perfect. Actually, that's something. This axe has silk touch, which means when I cut these melons, I get a melon back. But that doesn't normally happen. What normally happens is they split into slices. So this is fantastic. I love silk touch. Oh. How many is that? 14. Nice. Oh, don't mind if I do. I might cut down some of these trees as well. Now, orange wood might look quite nice somewhere. But I do like the bark. Kind of grey. You know, it's like the stone, except vertical stripes instead of horizontal stripes. Could look quite good. And there we go. One village successfully raided, visited and traded with lawfully. Yes, we got ourselves some pumpkin. Oh, look. I can juggle. Yes, got ourselves 14 melons out of that. As well as 54 bales of hay. 20 acacia. I think that's how you say it. Acacia logs. And some acacia saplings to grow some more back at the island. So, back to the island it is. And just like that, we're back on the island. I've had a quick look around and I've got plans for over there. So I'm thinking I'm going to put the farm here. There's just one problem. The bees' nests. But in fact, it's not a problem anymore. The reason I haven't moved them previously is if I was to break these with anything, they'd just disappear and the bees inside would get angry and very, very stabby. And we don't want that. Just like in real life, if these bees sting us, not only does it hurt us, it kills them. But we have this axe. with silk touch on it. So we could do this. And this. And get an advancement. And this. And this. And there we have it. All stored away nicely. No bees were harmed in the making of this chest full of bees' nests. In fact, the bees are still in there. But now I can chop them down with silk touch. I can actually set up a bee farm. But that's for another episode. Can't get sidetracked. I really want to build this pumpkin farm. So let's get it planned out. And there we go. I've cleared out a 9x9 space. Put a lovely border around it and everything. And I put a water source smack bang in the middle. This means I can till the land all the way around in this space and it'll stay hydrated. Any further out and it'll just turn back to dirt eventually. But in here it'll stay hydrated. So I need to make a checkerboard pattern. And we do that with our trusty hoe. Now what I need to do is each row needs to be alternate pumpkins, then melons, pumpkins, then melons. The reason for this is some maths behind Minecraft, how it decides that things are going to grow at a certain rate. For some reason, how they've done the coding is it does it in rows. So there's no point putting a pumpkin next to a pumpkin because then only one of those pumpkins will grow. But a pumpkin next to a melon, it'll go, oh, here's a pumpkin, grow that. Oh, here's a melon, grow that. I don't know, something like that. I don't pretend to understand it. I just copy El Mango. So now to get the seeds. Now for the melon, I'm going to have to break them all into slices. Stick the slices in my inventory and voila, 64 seeds. Pumpkins can just go straight in. There you go, we've got 20. So we'll start with pumpkins. Miss a row, pumpkin. Miss a row, pumpkin. Miss a row, pumpkin. Miss a row, pumpkin. Oh, just short. Melons. It is really hard to tell the difference when they're this small. To be fair, it's really hard to tell the difference until a fruit has grown. But now, we wait. Where did he just come from? That should do it. It's the problem with roofs. They're really hard to spawn proof. But in other news, the pumpkins and the melons have grown. However, the issue is the iron golems and the villagers like to come over here and jump on them. And that's when they break. So this really isn't an ideal setup. And besides, do we really want to manually keep picking melons and pumpkins? No, we don't. We're going to try and make this automated, which means towering it. Normally, when people think of towering, they think up. But a giant skyscraper of melons and pumpkins doesn't really fit in with what I'm going for this island. So we're going to go the opposite way. We're going to dig down. it a 14 by 14 by 14 hole underneath this pumpkin and melon patch. Now I'm going to have an automated farm down there, and how it's going to work is by having observers facing down and looking at the plants. Now every time that plant changes, i.e. grows a pumpkin, the observer is going to see it and pump out a little bit of redstone power. That redstone power is going to feed that redstone, and that's going to send a signal, if I can get it, to that there piston, and that piston will break whatever's underneath it. So let's show that in action. As you can see, when I took out that pumpkin, the stalk changed. The observer saw that, sent out a redstone pulse, which ignited the redstone wire, which then powered the piston, which broke the block there. And what we could do that all the way around. And there we have it. 4 pistons surrounding an observer with a dot of redstone on top. The observer is facing the stalk, and when the stalk changes due to growing, in this case a pumpkin, it'll power the 4 pistons. The pistons, each piston is over where a melon or pumpkin can grow, and it'll knock them off, as you can see there. So let's see this in action. And there you have it. All 4 pistons went and knocked off all the pumpkins and melons that were surrounding it. Well, that's the principle of the farm, but it's just collecting the pumpkin and melons that break off. How I'm going to do that is very similar to how I do the bamboo farm in there. I'm going to run some rails underneath with a hopper minecart, and it'll pick them all up. So let's go for another time lapse. Before I start the time lapse, this dude's just turned up. And look, oh, where is he? Where's he gone? Due to a resource pack, well, a data pack that was left over from when this was a server, he sells mini blocks on my world. And look, mini pumpkins, 8 of them for 1 emerald and a proper pumpkin. So guess what we're going to do? Well, 8's better than none. Now here we go. Normal pumpkin. Baby pumpkin. How cool do they look? Oh. If anything else says Halloween, I don't know what it is. Look at that. That's brilliant. And there we go, all built. I have made a few changes since the time lapse though, so I'll just quickly go through them. Now I've moved the drop off point from going there to being on the side here. It does make the minecart a little bit slow to begin with, but it does just make it and then speeds up. As you can hear, it is a bit noisy in here. Let me just sort that out. There, I think. Okay. So yes, each layer gets dropped off and comes down here into this chest here. In turn, that chest comes along here, and it's a little filter. You can see the melons going across. Don't know what they're doing there. Now, if what comes through there is a pumpkin, it'll drop into this filter. But if it's not a pumpkin, a melon, it'll go across to this one and drop into this hopper. And this little setup does that. It's by Impulse SV. I'll put a link in the description to his video where he talks about how this works. But essentially, how it works is these two hoppers have filter blocks in them, or renamed cobblestone, and the item that you want to go in there. And this is the same. Now, with the comparators and everything set up here, this hopper will keep 41, 2, 3, 4, 5 items in and not move. But as soon as one more item comes in this case a pumpkin, it'll drop through. Same with the melons. And they'll drop through to these chests. None in there at the moment because they're taken straight out by these hoppers here. Or hopper chain. And into these. And this is a dropper. Don't know why they're there. Anyway, this is a dropper chain. What's that one there? That's better. Now the dropper chain goes straight up either side. That's pumpkins, that's melons. And that works with this. As an item gets dragged from that chest through the hopper chain into this dropper, it's seen by this comparator, which in turn powers this block, which in turn powers this redstone, turns that off, which then turns that off, which then turns that. You can see, yeah, it's redstone magic. I don't know how it works, but as that's flashing, the observer sees it's flashing, powers that block, which in turn powers this repeater, which powers this block. But the observer sees that being powered. This observer sees that being powered. Powers that block, which in turn powers this dropper to force the item up one. And so it goes. Up and up and up. So it's a silent item elevator using droppers and observers. And the reason I've done this is because, well, I'm lazy. I don't have to keep coming down here to collect my melons and pumpkins. I mean, it's not the prettiest thing in the world. And up and down there all the time, so I have them come to these chests. This is where the observers finish, because they're hidden away behind cobblestone slabs. And all the pumpkins end up in this one. And all the melon slices in this chest. And then what I can do, you just stand here, break these, and just make melons. Oh. There we go, melons. Then just put the chest back and put them in there. So that's quite simple and modular. So if I want to do any more, then I could just keep going down and connect it all up. It's super simple. And as you can see, it gives me lots of pumpkins and melons. Oh, a wandering trader that's invisible. Hello. He's got melons. Right, quick. To the emeralds. Here we go. Where's he gone? There he is. Nope. There he is. Come back. Yes, please. Thank you. So, apart from dealing with the wandering trader and getting mini blocks in our data pack, which is awesome, what else are melons and pumpkins good for? Well, pumpkins are good for decoration. Yeah, let me just put this pumpkin, I don't know, here. And it's just a pumpkin. But with some shears, you can carve it. And that's not all you can do with it. You can also craft it into a jack-o'-lantern. Because now it's its own light source, as well as a spooky decoration. So I'm going to make a few of these. And I'm going to decorate the island, ready for spooky October. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, it's all well and good using pumpkins for Halloween decorations, but you've made a farm that makes loads. What's the point? Well, there's lots of points, especially for the carved pumpkin. For the carved pumpkin and a couple of bits of iron, I can make a tee of iron and then drop a carved pumpkin head on top. And voila, my own Iron Golem. And the great thing about my Iron Golem is I can slap him about as much as I want. And he's not going to do anything because I'm his master. I made him. Whereas these Iron Golems down here, their sole purpose is to protect the villagers. The villagers have spawned them in for that specific purpose. If I slap them, they slap back. And they slap back hard. Now, I won't be slapping my Iron Golem anymore. Because I don't know which one he is. It could be this one. Or it could be that one. Yeah, I'm not taking that chance. And there's another reason for carved pumpkins. But I can't do it here. I'll have to travel further afield.
Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream.
Now, here we are on top of a mountain with snow. Let me just collect some snow. So once you've collected enough snowballs, stick it in your crafting inventory and take 2 snow blocks. And we're going to build a snowman. 1 block, 2 blocks, and a carved pumpkin on top. And there we go. Our own snow golem. And he'll walk around placing snow for us, which is rather cool. And if they see a hostile mob, they'll throw snowballs at them. These things are incredibly useful. And actually, with a bit of ingenuity, you can make these things into a snow farm, which is great. They do have some limitations though. They've got to be in an area that's cold. If I was to take him to our island, it's too hot. He'd melt. And also, if it rains, he melts as well. But they're cool little things, aren't they? Oh, that's the derpiest thing I've ever seen. We're walking in the air. Oh, we're swimming in the pale moonlight. Oh, okay, got rid of the snowman head. Back to pumpkins. Making iron golems and making snow golems is not the only thing that carved pumpkin's good for. You can also wear them as a hat. Trick or treat. And this is actually useful in the game. When going to the end and fighting a dragon, for instance, it's full of Endermen. And if an Enderman looks at you in the face, it attacks. But if you're in a carved pumpkin, it doesn't. Which is great. And everything is brilliant. You know, walk through the end. Enderman not attacking. Sounds awesome. Just one drawback. Yeah. It's hard. It's difficult to see. Still pretty cool though. But wait. There's more. If we go over to this here composter, we could just fill it full of pumpkins. There's a good chance it'll fill it. There we go. 6 bone meal from a stack of pumpkins. Yeah, it's not a lot considering I use a stack of pumpkins, but it's more than I had before. And now I've got an endless supply of pumpkins. If I'm really desperate. Now another reason, and probably the main reason for getting pumpkins and melons, is that farmers will give you emeralds for them. Let's look at this farmer here. At the minute, he's only giving us carrots and beetroot. So let's level him up a bit. Now this dude here has had a quick word with Karen. Hello, Karen. And has decided that 1 melon is going to give me 1 emerald. And I just happen to have 64 melons. Handy. And, oh, there you go. 28 emeralds. And he's leveled up. Just need 1 for pumpkins now. And now we have the legend that is JR. And he spoke to Karen a couple of times, giving us carrots at 9. But the important one is he's our pumpkin man. At 1 pumpkin per emerald. So I think we'll have some of those. Let's see if we can get him up to master level. Oh, and he's going for melons as well. JR, you are the MVP. There we go. And at master, golden carrots. A very nice food source. It's 1 emerald for 3 golden carrots. Now that's a bargain. And so, with the aid of Karen, JR has found new purpose in life. And here he is with his friend. Yep, I've put a couple of composters here. And now this chappie, he goes all the way to a golden carrot as well. And good old JR here. Every day come to their new workstations. And JR no longer sits alone over there staring off into his forgotten village. Now he's hard at work, giving me emeralds. And there we have it. We've come to the end. It's been a big one. We've visited a savannah village to get melon seeds. We've built a melon and pumpkin farm. We've decorated the village with pumpkins. And I've spoken about how useful they are. Oh, and I made lots of emeralds. So, not bad really. I've really enjoyed making this one. I know it's probably going to be a long one, but we got a lot done. I hope you've enjoyed it. And if you have, consider giving it a like. If you'd like to see more, even consider subscribing. Or don't. Don't feel forced. Anyway, bye for now. Bye.